I'm going to replace this old radio in the Volvo with this beautiful new CarPlay screen. Going to fit just here, bring the car into the modern age, but we've also got a few other little bits that we're going to fit later down the line. So stick around for that. So you're going to have to put the car into neutral to do this. I'm going to take the trim up here, use a trim tool. I can't find mine, so I'm using a little screwdriver. Just be careful. Pop it up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to release this centre section and take the surround completely out. I just find it easier on here to do that. To remove it, you just pull the tabs back and push. Pull the tabs again and push. You can see it starting to come. And do the other side as well. And that just frees up a lot more space. Next thing I'm going to do is disconnect the battery whilst we're in neutral, just so we're not running the battery down and it doesn't affect anything when we're pulling the wires behind.
On the XC90, the battery is located at the back of the car in the boot, or the trunk for our American friends. Disconnecting that negative terminal just kills power to the car, allowing this to work safely. Next, removing some of the torque splits in the centre console, allowing us to pull the trim up, which will give us a bit better access to the head unit. These torque splits are all relatively easy to access. Once you've removed all of these, there's a little handle in the storage box. Pulling this just allows us to move the box to the back of the car, giving us access to remove that trim.
So I've got everything stripped down here. The whole unit is loose. Like I said, I like to take this surround out. It just gives you that bit more space here and doesn't clog up in the way. I'm just going to get all the electrical cables out now. I will have to trim this plastic housing, but we'll get to how we do that in a little bit. And we'll show you how that's going to mount in place.
Next, Joe's just removing all the connectors from the back of the head unit. These are all quite simple push connectors. Just be super careful when removing them. If it doesn't want to go, don't force it.
So we're going to get that in there. If you've made it this far into the video, it's because you're a beautiful human. As we are a new channel, why not join the journey from the start by subscribing to see more videos like this.
Now we've got various bits and bobs out of the housing ready for trimming, which you'll see in a little bit. I thought this would be a prime time to make Joe possibly the world's worst lunch.
Thank you. Thank you very much. With it stripped down, I'm going to replace the cigarette lighter. I'm going to fit one of these USB-C and USB ports. I'm going to take that one out, fit this one in here. Just to get it to fit in. But that should clip into place nicely. I'm going to show you how to unpin the connector that's already in the car, so we haven't got to worry about the wiring. So any of you guys and girls that are worried about the electrics, don't worry about that. I'll show you an easy way to sort that. We are going to have to trim this back piece out of the way. The reason for that is we have to keep this plugged in the car. With that tucked up out of the way, it's going to clatter. I'm going to trim around the edges just to take this bulky bit, because we don't need that anymore. That was just where that sat. But we're going to fit it so it sits upright, so it's still plugged in, so we're not going to get any errors, but we're just going to get rid of the excess here. The Dremel doesn't seem to be wanting to go through this very well. I'm going to get the angle grinder. It's going to be a bit more heavy duty, cut through this a lot quicker and easier. So that fascia, it's all trimmed down. I would recommend doing this outside. I've made so much mess. I'm just going to get all the excess cleaned up with a file, and then we'll start getting everything built back up.
It may look like we know exactly what we're doing here, but honestly, we've only ever fitted a couple of these. It's all about confidence and just giving it a go. Is this something you'd like to do at home yourself, or would you leave it up to the experts? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
So we've got that built up. I think that's looking brilliant. New USB installed as well. Gets rid of that manky old cigarette lighter. Before we can install it onto the car though, we do need to nick a couple of bits off here. I'm going to strip it down and then we'll show you exactly why we need them.
I think what all the audience probably want to know, Joe, is why were you nicknamed in the late 90s Joey San Francisco?
I don't really want to go into it right now. I will one day, but when I've...
I think most people know exactly why you were called that.
I'd quite like to carry on with the healing process before I discuss it anymore. How's that for an answer?
It's not satisfactory by any means, but what buttons are you taking off there? Do you need all of them?
I'm going to take the sound, the power and the display. We do need to nick some of these. The reason why is we need to connect them up and then program the new CarPlay to be the one that controls the sound rather than the old unit, but we have to have it plugged in to be able to select it on CarPlay. Sounds a bit confusing, but I'll go through it quite shortly with you and it will all make sense. Quite easy to do.
What if it doesn't make sense?
If it doesn't make sense, then I advise going down to the local creek and skipping stones.
Okay.
It helps pass the time, it helps me clear my head. Sometimes if there's too much noise in my head, I'll skip a few stones, maybe climb a tree. Be very careful with these little ribbon connectors here. They do just pull out, but you do need to be very careful. It's got those two bits. Just going to get this last one out.
While I was out, I heard you had fun with the Dremel.
Yeah, the Dremel gave up the ghost a little bit, just wasn't quite powerful enough to cut through the surround. Got in there with the angle grinder, but I should have probably used the angle grinder outside.
What does gave up the ghost mean?
Gave up the ghost.
Why not goose?
Because not that many people these days can afford to own geese or goosies.
You wouldn't want to give it up either, would you, if you had one?
If I had a goose, I do prefer calling them goosies. It's a nicer word. But if I had a goose, I wouldn't want to give it up.
What would you call your goose? Gary Goose?
I'd call it gander.
That's a terrible name.
I'd call it goosey gander. 3 bits. We're all ready to start plugging cables in and getting it installed in the car. Legend system power cable. Yep. Right. I'm not going to install these just yet. These are for the reverse cameras that they plug in here and then plug in there. So I'm not going to install them yet. We'll fit the cameras at a later date. I'm just going to drop the glove box down just so when I've got the DAB and the GPS wires, I'm going to run them along and up this A-pillar trim here. And just with the glove box out of the way, it's just going to make it that little bit easier to just see where the wires are and where they're going. It was only that I unclipped, but that gives me quite a bit of space now if I want to run any cables. The reason I've got that trim out is I want to just hide the aerial and the GPS. I'm going to hide them over here. That's why I got the glove box out as well, so I can tuck the wire wire down, round the back and come underneath here. So it's going to go like that, but all the wires will be hidden behind. And same for the GPS. So back with the trusty bit of wire, just so I can start feeding these cables. I've got it tucked down the pillar and pulled through. So what I'm going to do is just attach the cable to the wire with a bit of electrical tape, just so I can then pull the wire, which would tuck the cables through. It's a really good way of pulling wires when you need to locate them in quite awkward places like that. So I'll show you exactly how we're going to do that. Got the cables tied up nicely. I'm just going to pull them. It is a little bit tight on the dash. There we go.
The poise and intricacy in which you fed them wires through. I'm surprised you're not a Swiss watchmaker.
I had to leave that profession. There's still a few lawsuits outstanding, and I am no longer allowed anywhere in Switzerland for legal reasons I cannot discuss why.
That's fair enough.
So I'm just going to feed the wires through, because we want them over here. The only issue we've got now is knowing which one's which. So if you're unsure, give it a little bit of a tug. That's that one. So we won't build any of this up until everything's connected anyway, so it'll be easy to know which one goes where.
Are they both the same type of connector?
Yeah, both the same type of connector, but we obviously want to make sure they're plugged into the right place on the back of the new screen.
Chuck a bit of paint pen or a bit of tape on GPS and leave the other one bare or something like that.
That's a good idea. Should we try that?
We could. It's up to you.
Let's do it.
It's up to you.
That's simple. We know which one's which now. So when we fitted the cigarette lighter earlier, I did say I was going to show you how to unpin this so we don't have to chop into any of the wires. So we just need to, don't know if you can see, just a little black tab there. Try and get the other side of that and wiggle the wire and pull it down. So I'm going to go this side just to give it a bit of a stretch. And there you can pull it through. Go again this side. So we've got them out. What I'm going to do is just put a bit of heat shrink over the exposed metal on the connectors.
Once that was done, it was time to feed the microphone around the back of the steering wheel and the dash cluster. Then it was simply a case of getting all the plugs in the back of the head unit. The manufacturer though politely reached out and asked if we could not record this bit. If you do purchase your own unit, we'll leave some details below where you can reach out to him, and I'm sure he'd be happy to help. Now everything was connected and the head unit was sitting in place, it was time to get the battery reconnected for the first power up. And would you look at that? With zero smoke and no fatalities, we had power. We couldn't stay happy for too long though. While trying to sync the volume from the head unit to the car audio on the steering wheel and the infotainment unit, we ran into a bit of a problem. I think this screen may have lost its radio code, I don't know if that matters.
Oh, so we have just had a bit of a nightmare with this. Because we had the battery disconnected, we lost the radio code. You have to have all of this plugged in to be able to adapt your CarPlay volume settings, and he was basically coming up asking for our radio code. Will, the beautiful handsome man that he is, managed to use the VIN number from the vehicle, and there's a VO number on the back of the CD player. It should start VO, and if you type that in on the internet, it will work its magic and you can get your radio code. Once you've inputted all that, go to your aux audio input, turn your volume all the way down and use your steering wheel controls to get your audio working. Once that's done, you can disconnect all of this. You can disconnect all of this, and then you just hide this unit underneath here out the way.
Then finally, to finish this job off, it was simply a case of attaching the DAB and the GPS aerials inside the A-pillar, and then just refitting some trims. That included the A-pillar trim, the storage box we took off right at the beginning, and also the centre console trims. And that's it, job done.
Stay tuned, because we're going to fit forward camera and a reverse camera to this head unit in the next video. So I'll catch you then.